Alright, Tao Te Ching number 60. Please offer any reflections you might have. Ruling a large country is like cooking a small fish. Using the Tao to manage the world, its demons have no power. Not only do its demons have no power, its gods do not harm people. Not only do its gods not harm people, the sages also do not harm people. They both do no harm to one another, so virtue merges and returns. If you use too much heat, you will overcook the fish. If you keep turning the fish over and over, it will fall apart. Similarly, if a ruler constantly meddles in the affairs of the people with excessive rules and regulations, the country becomes chaotic and everyone suffers. Similarly, when we manage our lives, we also need to be careful not to second-guess ourselves too much. People who frequently change their minds, turn their decisions over, and tend to fail in life. The demons of negativity still exist, but they cannot exert their harmful influence. On a personal level, this means that when the Tao is present in your heart, your inner demons have no power over you. This means the gods keep to their proper places and do not disrupt people's lives out of misguided benevolence. When we apply this concept to everyday cultivation, it means the wisdom of the Tao prevents us from taking foolish actions out of good intentions. Actions that, although well-meaning, still end up making things more complicated and more difficult. Harming in this context means meddling in people's lives. When we act in congruence with the Tao, we are able to relax, let things be, and simply enjoy the process. Returning in this context means going back to the source, the Tao. Reflection.
Well, in a nutshell, that means that too much regulations cause a lot of chaos and misunderstanding, because you instill all this regulation upon people, and then in an interim, people get confused and do not know what to do, as opposed to what's right and what's wrong. So, I would say that it implies that you should give people more leverage and room to make their own decision, as opposed to just dictating upon what they should do and what they're supposed to be doing. That analogy about the fish manifests that, if you do too much, there's bound to be mistakes. So it's always better to do a little bit of introspection and project on whatever you're going to do.
The large country is like the lowest river, the converging point of the world, the receptive female of the world. The female always overcomes the male with serenity, using serenity as the lower position. Thus, if the large country is lower than the small country, then it can take the small country. If the small country is lower than the large country, then it can be taken by the large country. Thus, one uses the lower position to take, the other uses the lower position to be taken. The large country only wishes to gather and protect people. The small country only wishes to join and serve people, so that both obtain what they wish. The larger one should assume the lower position. In this chapter, Lao Tzu points out that the virtue of humility applies not only to individuals and personal interactions, but also to diplomacy and international relations. In fact, the microcosm of the personal reflects the macrocosm of the national. So principles that work on one level operate equally well on the other. In the context of everyday living, the large country would be someone who has more power, while the small country would be someone with less. Because everything is relative, we are often called upon to play either role. For instance, the mid-level manager can be a small country to senior executives and at the same time be the large country to the rank and file. Lower position means humility. The large country is more powerful and has a lot more resources than small countries do, but it does not understand or practice the virtue of humility. It will quickly devolve from a well-respected world leader into a despised empire. History shows clearly that empires come and go, and when an empire falls, the smaller countries that used to cower at its feet will suddenly rise up against it. When we apply this idea to an individual level, we see the wisdom of treating people well on one's way up, because it is indeed true that one will see all of them again on one's way down.
Steve.
Yeah, that is. That's real deep. You know,
Yeah, that's a good
So
one.
treat people,
you need to send that to Donald Trump.
treat people with humility on the way up, because those are the same people you see on the way down.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, you know, they be standing there and you be passing by, going right down the drain. Won't offer a hand, or may offer a hand, but their weight is too great for them to hold you from sliding down, but you have to treat people respectfully.
That reminds me, oh, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, go right ahead, I'll jump in.
That reminds me of like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Like Mike was real humble, and you know a lot of people saw Kobe as arrogant or whatever. And now that he's out of the league, it's like people still pay Mike, you know, thousands of dollars to go to his training camps in the off season. But you know Kobe is like, you know, he kind of like rubbed a lot of his teammates the wrong way. And he's still a great player though. But, you know,
Yeah.
it's just the way that you treat other people. You know, it comes back around when you need them.
Yeah, that's a definite. Yeah, you never know what life is going to throw at you. And when you think that you're entitled to this and to that, and you treat people any way you want to, there will come a time that those same people that you treated with ill harm, you know, will still be there. But they will not be receptive to your issue that you're going through as you reach your hand out or ask for assistance. You know, you can't be arrogant. And sometimes it's beneficial, your arrogance against someone else who is arrogant, but only to show them. You know, but you have to be open. Yeah, that's a pretty deep reader right there. They say you have to say that's a Donald Trump. They can make a little, excuse me, saying a little woman, and Twitter and everything that comes this way instead of being, you know, just analyzing what people are saying. There's just some truth to whatever anyone says to you. Whether you realize it or not.
It's so unfortunate that you have people like that.
Yeah.
Same balance.
That requires a little bit of wisdom and teaching yourself some discipline. In order to overcome some adversities.
Big underlying theme of these teachings, from the Tao to Buddha to Eastern philosophy, is humility. Like there's just no room for arrogance. And with arrogance, it's just the opposite, the way. It's very important as you train martial arts to remain humble. "62. The Tao is the wonder of all things, the treasure of the kind person, the protection of the unkind person. Admirable words can win the public's respect. Admirable actions can improve people. Those who are unkind, how can they be abandoned? Therefore, when crowning the emperor and installing the 3 ministers, although there is the offering of jade before 4 horses, none of it can compare to being seated in this Tao. Why did the ancients value this Tao so much? It is not said that those who seek will find, and those with guilt will not be faulted. Therefore, it is the greatest value in the world." These lines point out that the Tao provides for everyone, regardless of individual merits. Those who do not understand the Tao may not regard it as anything to value, but the Tao does not abandon them. It still provides for all the necessities people need to stay alive. Water, air, the sun, everything comes from the protective embrace of the Tao. The most important ceremony in ancient China was the crowning of the emperor and the installation of the 3 ministers. To emphasize its significance, the ceremony included offerings of jade and horses. The jade used was the largest and most valuable available. The horses were a team of 4. Each steed was the fastest and finest in all of China. The simple pleasure of sitting down with an open mind to get into the Tao surpasses any material riches. When we resonate deeply with the spiritual truth, when the teaching suddenly sheds light on the dilemma and liberates us from perplexing ignorance, that is when we realize the priceless nature of the Tao. When the ancients searched for the answer to the ultimate question of life, they found it in the Tao. As for those who do not know enough to search, the Tao did not find fault with them. It gave them all the time they needed to work through their issues. With infinite patience, the Tao knew that one day they too would embark on a spiritual quest of their own. We are very fortunate to have so many options and so many opportunities to get to know the Tao. It is up to us to cherish it as the greatest treasure of all. Reflection.
It just kind of reminds me of the saying that we're not just human beings having a spiritual experience, but we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And that kind of leads you to drift away from so much focus on like material things as opposed to just becoming one with everything around you and enjoying like your time here because it's infinite.
without action, manage without meddling, taste without tasting, great, small, many, few, respond to hatred with virtue, plan difficult tasks through the simplest tasks, achieve large tasks through the smallest tasks. The difficult tasks of the world must be handled through the simple tasks. The large tasks of the world must be handled through the small tasks. Therefore, sages never attempt great deeds all through life. Thus they can achieve greatness. One who makes promises lightly must deserve little trust. One who sees many easy tasks must encounter much difficulty. Therefore, sages regard things as difficult, so they never encounter difficulties all through life. As Tao cultivators, we take proactive actions without attachments or expectations of specific outcomes. We manage processes and affairs without trying to manipulate them. We get a sense, a taste of the situation without becoming so involved and engrossed that we lose our objectivity. When the tasks are great, small, many, a few, we approach them the same way. We treat everyone with the same degree of gentle kindness, so that even if someone attacks us out of anger or hatred, we do not fight fire with fire. Instead, we respond with compassion, against which there is no defense. When handling a large or difficult task, we break it down into its constituent parts. If it is difficult, we start with its easiest part. If it is large, we start with its smallest component. These small, simple subtasks require little time and effort, and when they are complete, the success inherent in their completion generates positive energy. We then leverage this energy to catapult us toward the next smallest or easiest task. Each greater success generates greater energy, a greater feeling of satisfaction, and a greater ability to handle the next challenge. This is how we achieve great and difficult tasks with ease. The secret is that we do not tackle such tasks head-on. To do so would be foolhardily and counterproductive. Someone who makes promises quickly is likely to break them regularly. Therefore, Tao cultivators are reluctant to make overly optimistic projections in regard to a task at hand. Someone who thinks everything is easy is naive and inexperienced. Therefore, we regard all tasks as either challenging or potentially challenging. Whereas many people promise too much and deliver too little, we, like the Tao sages, promise little but deliver beyond expectations. Reflection.
I try not to do that sometimes. Like, overpromise and underdeliver. And that helps me, like to think of every situation as if it's challenging, because then you would be slow to respond. And it doesn't necessarily mean bad timing. It's just that it's better to have an understanding of a situation before, overpromising and then under-delivering. I thought December 25th would be released on December 25th. And even though I thought it would be an easy task, I knew it would be challenging, but I also thought it would be easy if you stick to a specific timeline. But some things are just out of our control, and it ended up being released on the 26th. Close, but.
The part where it says we break down a large task into small parts, we start with the easiest first. To me, that's really relevant to the sparring. So, the large task is you got this person in front of you, who's bigger, strong, and it's going to be hard to outbeat them. If you tackle it head on, that's like trying to just knock them out in one punch or something. or tackle him and just bash him in or something. But that's not the way of the Tao. The Tao's like, alright, let's start with the small, simple parts first. Little time and effort. So that's like just tearing him down, just like kicking his ankle until you know, kicking his shin, kicking his knee, getting a few jabs in there, just wearing him down, just like little by little, and then every little hit you get in there gives you more confidence that you could do more, and then eventually you overtake the person. So it's like cutting down a tree with an axe opposed to like just running it over with a car or something like that, you know, like trying to break it with like that, you know, like the Tao's more just little, you know, and when you do it that way, you don't have to do excessive force because you might kick him in the shin a few times or just punch him a few times, just a few jabs, and then he just might give up then because he just doesn't want to deal with it. But if you just take out your gun and shoot the person because the person just disrespected you, for example, that's just like, now you got a murder charge, and then that's like just kind of overreacting to something minor. So the Tao's not about just going like straight on, like head on, like what football players do, like tackling each other and stuff like that. It's not like that, you know.
It's more tactical.
Yeah, exactly.
Never celebrate the small victories.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, I believe that staying at the drawing board and figure out this equation to get over this issue that I have, but never really leaving, then go I may step away from the drawing board. I still have this issue in front of me, so by working out the equation, eventually I will overcome what it is I'm dealing with. But if I don't do my analysis, it's like I
won't get to the
I won't get to the success that I'm looking for. You know, that may be synonymous with the Tao. You know, because there's only, you got an issue in front of you, there are 3 or 4 ways that you can overcome it. Around it, over it, under it, and you gotta go through it. But I think there's something in Chinese script or Asian script that I've heard that in Buddhist, that until you go through an issue, you do not know yourself. You know, so you have to experience it. You know, and hopefully it's not painful.
Right.
Most of the time it is.
I've been there too. It's like you get slapped dead in the face, and you look around and get slapped again. Which one of y'all hit me?
There's a stretching method that might be more effective or just as effective, or at least something you should try. There's the isometric method where you hold a stretch for like 30 seconds or longer. But then there's another method where you hold a stretch for like only 3 to 5 seconds and you do like over 10 reps. So say if I'm coming down here, instead of holding this for like 30 seconds or a minute, I would come down as much as I can and hold it for like 1, 2, 3, relax out of it, and then do it again. 1, 2, 3, relax again. 1, 2, 3. So that method actually could be more effective, you know, at getting you more flexible quicker. So every time you guys stretch, think about that. Like we start off here, and we hold this for like 30 seconds, but you can just kind of come up and come down as much as you can for like 3 seconds, and come back up, and come back down. And the reason behind it is when you hold it for a long time, they say that the muscles kind of go through like a protective, they kind of get tense to protect itself, so when you hold it, it doesn't really make you more flexible. But if you just release and stretch, release and stretch, you can get better results quicker. So I would recommend at least to do both. Do the long stretch, but then also do the short stretches too. My martial art friend Davin, he's like one of the first people that I ever met that could do like the full split. That's how he stretches too. It's like really short stretching. You just hold it for a few seconds and then he'll get back into it multiple reps. Okay, let's work on some drills.